Ashraf, you mentioned that you will cover with us over the 10-part Universal Bliss series your awarenesses, your insights, your practices, techniques, and skills that will support us as students to go beyond who we've been. And you said that some students may ask, why can't we cover this in one session? You then introduce the motorist analogy and you explain that the process of becoming a motorist doesn't take place overnight. Now, personally, as a student of yours for many years, I can relate to wanting myself and my life to be changed after one workshop. When I first started with the teachings, I wanted to see changes in my outside world immediately. And I came to realize very quickly that this is a process of unlearning all my old habits and thoughts and opening up to another way of living and being in the world. It is still a continuous journey for me, and I realize that no matter how secure I feel now, there is more security for me to experience. And I've learned to be very patient with myself and the process. Ashraf, can you explain the process? And is there any other advice that you can give to the students of Universal Bliss?
Thank you so much for that question as well, Rabia. And yes, it is a process. Personal transformation is not an overnight quick fix, and it's really a process, and the student is to be patient with themselves and to support the transformation of being that results in a change in our lives. So this is the Universal Bliss 10-part pilot program, and over this 10 parts I will be sharing the awarenesses, insights, practices, techniques and skills to go beyond who we've been, meaning from insecurity to security, means beyond neediness to non-neediness, and from powerless relating to powerful relating. That means going from being neglectful of ourselves and negating of our lives to actually, being nurturing to ourselves and nourishing towards our lives. And thirdly, to go from deprivation to satisfaction. So 1, 2 and 3 is basically neediness to non-neediness, from beggar to believer or boss, from powerless relating to powerful relating, which basically means going from addict to adult, and from self-deprivation to self-satisfaction is going from being a victim to a victor or vicegerent. So this is a process, and it's not so much a learning as much as it is an unlearning. There is a process of letting go and releasing of some ideas that we've lived our lives controlled by, especially the trances. And to make it more clear, this is not a process of thinking, oh, I just want to jump in a car and drive it, knowing nothing about a motor vehicle or the rules of the road. You would have to first undertake to become a motorist, then begin with the yellow learner's license book, and then after having achieved a pass mark in the learner's license test, you can then undergo the blue book training, driver's education classes, getting an instructor, and eventually taking the yard test and the road test and becoming a motorist through the awarenesses gleaned from the yellow book and the blue book, the experience that you get from working with the driver's education instructor. You are now not the same person, but a much more aware person, and you know how to apply yourself in certain situations. And then you can steer the vehicle, maneuver the vehicle, and you can move yourself through traffic and with other fellow road users, having a certain awareness of motoring and traffic and so on and so forth. So basically nobody can just jump into a motor vehicle and knowing nothing about its controls and knowing nothing about the rules of the road drive the vehicle. And so somebody might think, yeah, but just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. I'll do it. So it's not a question of doing, it's a question of being aware and applying yourself through that awareness. And this is really what we are going to go through. And so it does require patience with oneself, We've got to let go of our attachment for where we want to go or what we want to be, and we've got to let go of our resistance for where we are or being against where we are. And it's just being at ease and making a decision to support growth and development and becoming aware of the process that's involved, which largely is allowance and non-resistance, non-reaction, becoming aware of how we actually defeat ourselves and be destructive in our lives, the trances, undoing the trances, then supporting creative energy flow, and eventually learning how to use that flow for our own benefit. So it is a process like anything in life, whether it's becoming a motorist or whether it's becoming a business person. Nobody can just say, I want a business and start a business without having any awareness of a business person. That business will fail. So this is a process of becoming aware. It's a process of applying yourself through that awareness, a process of relating, and it does take time, as all processes do. So thank you so much for that. But I will say this in closing: patience. Patience, allowing of yourself to be as you are, not trying to change yourself, not trying to change your life, but being with yourself, being with your life, and observing how you operate, and seeing that the way of operating that we might be operating from is actually not in our best interest, and releasing it. And observing that there are other ways of operating, other ways of being, and choosing to support being that. So it is a process, does require patience. The more at ease you are, allowing yourself to be as you are, without pressure on yourself, to change yourself, to change your life, the easier it is for you to progress. The more you allow yourself to learn about motoring or becoming a motorist without putting pressure on yourself to become one, the easier it is. So, yeah, thanks for that question. It was a great question.